Directions for creating your collage. You'll be practicing cutting different shapes and lines, and then you'll attach it to your rainbow color mixed backgrounds. Using any paper of your choice, go ahead and practice cutting any shape or line. Remember that your scissor hand is just opening and closing the scissors, and your paper hand is turning the paper, kind of steering it. So as I'm doing this zigzag, I'm using my paper hand to turn the paper while my scissors just kind of hold on to it. And you could use both pieces or all pieces of whatever you cut out. You could use part of it. Really, it's entirely up to you. When you open your glue, twist it until the white dot disappears. You might need to shake it down a little, and then focus adding small dots of glue on the edge. We want to make sure we don't have any edges kind of popping off our paper. Little bitty dots, flip it over and stick it down wherever you choose. As I said, you can put the pieces wherever you want. You could put them near each other, across the paper. Just make sure that you're adding little bitty dots of glue on the edges and making sure it's securely stuck down. If you're using the patterned paper, you may want to check to see if the backside has anything so that when you're gluing it down, you glue it with the pattern side showing. I'm making a wavy line or a little hilly line, and I'm turning the paper with my paper hand yet again and very carefully cutting with my scissor hand. I'm going to make kind of a wavy line this time. And when I go to glue this piece down, I have decided that I'm going to overlap on top of the shape that I already have there. Kind of creates more interesting stuff when we layer up our pieces of paper. Once again, little dots of glue and securely stick it down. If you want to cut a heart or another shape with two similar sides, fold a piece of paper to make a little mini book, and then on the folded side is where you draw half of your shape. For a heart, you're going to make a hill, and then you're going to have the one side of the hill come down to a point to meet the folded side of the paper. When you open it up, it should be on the folded side of your paper. If not, it's okay, but it's a really great way to experiment with making different kinds of shapes. If you want to cut out a spiral, you take your paper and you basically just keep turning it around and around while you're cutting to get your spiral shape. You could always trim off pieces as you go. This is really just about practicing using scissors and gluing, so it's okay to experiment and try out different things you haven't tried before. Maybe you'll come up with some really interesting shapes you had no idea you could even create. When you've added lots of really cool cut paper shapes, then you're going to add a little bit of paint detail using small souffle cups dipped in paint. To add the painted circles, you'll use a small cup and twist it in the paint so that you're getting all of the edges covered in wet paint. You may want to check to make sure that all the edges are all painty before you stamp it down. And you can stamp wherever you decide. Be gentle so that you're not smushing the cup, otherwise it doesn't work very well. And every time you run out of paint on there, just give it a little twist in the paint and then return it to that same container so that we don't mix colors. If you're ready to switch colors, grab a different cup and color, twist it carefully in there to make sure you have all your edges covered, and go ahead and stamp wherever you decide. Even a little bit of overlapping of colors looks really neat too. It's really important that when you're done with a certain color and cup that you place that cup back in the same tray with the same color so that colors do not mix. When you're finished, your paper should be filled with all sorts of super cool shapes that you created and lots of beautiful colors. At cleanup time, place it on the drying rack.